Whoa, look at all that shimmer. That's a lot of shimmer. That's crazy. Hello, I'm Enforcer. I'd like to welcome you back to another Fountain Pen Friday. Today we're looking at, please ignore this Frankenstein pen. I'll explain that later. We're looking at Tramol Lime Gold. There's our gold. Clearly a gold shimmer. Clearly. Um, yeah. So I've been using this for the last couple of weeks in this pen. The pen's actually changed slightly. I'll explain it now. My Jinhao broke, so I Frankensteined it. Since the ink was already in, I took the whole front and just slammed it into my other pen. The other pen had a extra fine nib. I don't really like the extra fine, so the fine nib from my original Jinhao was fine for me. I like that. All right, so that's our explanation. Let's talk about what we're going to be doing today. We're going to look at some ink swatches, some writing, go to the microscope, and yeah, then we'll have some final thoughts. Let's get started. All right, here we are for some writing. A little Frankenstein pen. It is a thick ink. It does not like, there we go. You gotta get it moving. It just plugs up in the tube. When I first loaded it up, it's the first one of the Trommels. They all came in one set together. They're all the friends. Same series. This is the only one that didn't wanna move around in the, converter. Interesting. Alright, let's see here what we can do. Alright, so yeah, it's also on top of being thick, it's very scratchy. I'm getting a lot of feedback from it. That's just how it is, I guess. I don't know if I can fix that. Could do an F. I like F. I usually don't go this far, but and then we'll do our little boxes that I am terrible at. I should just practice boxes, huh? I could do that. If I got like dot paper, I could really practice. Just go dot to dot, huh? All right, we're not gonna screw it up this time. Oh, I did it right first time. Had to think about it though. And that's how she writes. I mean, it's a very bright green. All right, so let's go to our actual swatches and everything. All right, here we are. Begin with our little scribble. Nice. Let's take a look at that under the microscope. All right, here we are at the scribble. You can see there's a ton of shimmer here. It has just really put a lot of that gold shimmer down. Very cool. Here we are at the full zoom. You can really see all that. And it's interesting, you get to that little red speck in there. Different colors pop up in the shimmer. Very cool. All right, our wet smudge. Cool. Let's take a look at that under the microscope. See the trailing off there to the right where my finger drug the wet ink off. The full zoom on that smudge. Those hairs are actually part of the paper. Interesting. All right, our swatches. Ooh, so light. All right, let's look at that under the microscope now. Here we are zooming in on that swatch, and you can see the darker green to the left, the lighter green to the right. Not as much shimmer in this as the scribble. Interesting. Then our crosshatch water stress. Get the water. And we'll take a look at that under the microscope. And here's the cross hatch, and here's the water damage on the crosshatch. Actually, that's not kind of interesting that it turned it blue. Very interesting. We'll do this one in 2 points. This is just full on where the water damage is. And then there was this part. I could see that the water was flowing along the crosshatch and pooling at the end and making this, like, I don't know, like pooling damage, bleeding out at the very end, but it kept its color. Very weird, very cool. All right, here we are for our final thoughts. There were some very cool things about this ink. And I prefer a green ink. I do like green inks. That said, I found myself reaching for my other pens. It just was not what I was looking for. Maybe it was a little bit darker or less scratchy or less viscous and flowed better in the tube. There are a lot of little issues that added up to me just not reaching for it. Maybe in a different pen even it could have been better. Perhaps if I tried it in my TWSBI, which I probably will do next time. But this pen, this ink were not my thing. But you can see, like I mentioned in the before, you can see it bled out there in the corners a bit. Very interesting. Hadn't seen that before. And of all the Trommels, this one held up best to water. Because if you look, other ones like this one above it completely bleed out. There's nothing left. So hopefully I've earned your subscription. You've enjoyed yourself. You'll hit that like, and I'll see you next time.